Hello, welcome to another edition of Tech Tuesday presented by Delta Media Group, where we feel that Helen Tasker couldn't possibly have had enough time to train properly to become a field agent by the time they had her in the field at the end. You know, maybe the most important thing in a field agent is that they really know how to tango. So, today we are going to take a look at custom pages. We're going to look at a couple of different things here. One's going to be how to create custom pages, a couple things they can do, and also how to recover those if they're deleted or if you need to pull the history back up on them. So it's a lot of things. Let's jump into the DeltaNet and go over as many as we can. So first off, to create and to kind of customize your pages, we'll go down to Website and click on Pages. And then here we can see on the left, this is the list of all the pages we currently have on our site. And if we go down a little bit further, we have our navigation menu. And what this is where the links to each of those pages are oriented in your top navigation. So everything that's indented here is actually in a drop-down menu. So on the website, we'll see that under Buyers, you have listings I've shown and property search are in a drop-down under that. And then this map search, new listings, elegant homes, and the Canton, Ohio market pages are actually nested in like a flyout menu under property search. So I'll go ahead and jump over there so that we can take a look. So Buyers, and then you can see our drop down, and then under property search we've got all our extra pieces there. So there we go. So that way you can kind of see how those are set up and how those are oriented. Alright, so in order to create a new page, what we'll do is click on New Page. Now from here, that loads up our page content editor on the right. You can see we have different page types in these different tabs, and we've kind of gone over those in different videos, and we'll continue to get into those as we add features to those in the future. But for now, we'll just take a look at custom page. So with a custom page, the first thing we can do is we can lock this down so that it's only viewable to people who have registered on your website. So if I check this box, what this is going to do is if someone is not logged into a portfolio account and they try to go to this page, it's going to present them with this message here and then allow them to create an account. So we'll uncheck that for now. Next thing I can do is I can add a contact form to this page. So if I was creating a landing page and I wanted to put like a call to action on it, I would just check this box. I would decide which side of the page I want my contact form to show up on, and it is mobile responsive, so when it goes down to mobile it'll actually drop down below your page content. I can choose the contact form type, and you can see the different options we have available there. And each one of these, like selling information, buying information, and real estate career, are actually specific, and they link up to specific autoresponders. So if I use selling information, they're going to get a different autoresponder from the system than somebody who just fills out the general form. And those can be customized over here under Preferences and Email Messages. So that's something to keep in mind when creating these forms. So we'll say contact form title, my form title. You get a thank you URL. If you would like someone who fills out this form to be taken off to another custom page, you can put that URL in here and it'll take them to another spot. Contact form comments. These are my comments. And what this will do is fill out the comment section on that form with what you put in here. So this is actually overwritable by the customer, but this is just the default text that shows up in that comments field. By default, there will be some checkboxes so that the customer can indicate what it is they're interested in with this form. So the checkboxes are just some default options like buying, selling, property management, that kind of thing. If I want to hide those, I can just check that box. Next, I can choose the page type I want here. So standard page or page with template means that it's just a regular page. It loads up your entire website template around it. If I do standard page with no navigation, it's going to load up your website template and all of your branding and your colors and all that stuff. It's just not going to have any navigation. The idea there is that if I link somebody to a page with no navigation, it'll still have all my branding, but the only thing that they can do is fill out my form in order to kind of continue on in the site. So they can't navigate off of this page within my site. And then lastly, it can make a true squeeze page. And then what that'll do is not load up any template at all. The only thing on this page will be my content that I enter into this custom page content section. So for this one, we'll leave it on standard. And then down here is our WYSIWYG editor. So with this, I can use this kind of like I would a word processor if I was using Microsoft Word or OpenOffice, anything like that. And I can just type out my content. My page content. Now some additional features here that kind of make it web page specific is I can add images here. So if I click on image, it loads up my little image manager here. And then I can click on the browse button there and I can select from my different images. So you can see we've got an image added there. If I want to turn that image into a link, I could click on that and then click my little link button here and then give it a URL to go to. Normally I would just paste this in, but YouTube, why not? So I click OK, and now this is turned into a link, and you can see that the image and the link boxes up here are highlighted. I can embed videos here, so if I wanted to do that, if I go down another section here, I can say Insert Media, and then I would just paste in the URL of a YouTube video here, or a YouTube video page. Click OK, and that would embed the video here. I would put one in, but I don't have one copied over yet. I have them off the top of my head, So the next thing I can do here, and some of the really cool things you can do with these custom pages, is with this little button here where you have these curly braces and the 3 dots, you have some kind of special features or special page functionality that we've added to this editor that you can add into your pages. And these are mostly for like dynamic sections that will load up with things like listing data, reviews data, and you can read through each of these and see what they'll do. So the first one is the AVM search form, and what that is the What's My Home Worth box. So if I wanted to put a little quick search box with the What's My Home Worth there, I would just click that. If I want to add a featured listing section, this will look at my regular featured listing sections, settings that are being used on my homepage. Or I can go with advanced featured listing, and it'll actually let me define what I want to show in that featured listing section. So I can actually put in specific MLS IDs or addresses and have it load them up for me. And you'll see I delete that and type in something else, and what it'll do is it'll add to that. So that added in the second one, and now if I clear that field out and I put in another MLS number or address, oh, there we go, a gerbil, let's go with that one. And you can see I just click on them from that drop down menu and it throws them up in here. Now the other thing I can do, as you can see I've got these arrows to the right and left of each of my options here. I can choose which photo will display in this featured listing section with that. And then I click on it and it just adds it in there. I can choose how many results show up in this section, and you can go through here and see how many different options I have. Now what I could do, instead of going with MLS or specific listings, I could go down here and I could say just show me all the listings in a certain market. So I could say, put North Canton here and just have it display all the listings in North Canton, include IDX listings, and then I would have a featured listing section on this page that includes all listings from that market instead of specific ones I choose. So you can kind of see how much freedom you have to expand on this and to really define the kind of listings you want to show up in this featured listing section. You see all the additional options here, and then once you have it set up the way you want, you just click Insert Featured Search, and you can see that it spits out this code. When this shows up on the public page after this is saved, this will actually be rendered out as a featured listing section. And we'll go down another one. Now the other things you can do in here, as you can see, we can add a quick search form, which is just a regular listing search. You can add a gallery, and we have another video where you go over how to create those galleries. Agent roster would be specific just to company pages, or if the company is building a page. So most agent pages, you won't be adding that. A full search results section, which is like the featured listing section, only it's a full search results section that you can actually navigate through the results on. So I'll go ahead and add one of those so we can take a look. And then lastly, you can put a customer review section in there as well, and that will load up your reviews. So let me go down here another spot. Reviews. So that'll drop in a review section. And you can see all the kind of content you can add to these pages. Now the next thing you do to set up a custom page is you can choose, if you have multiple domains set up in our system, you can choose which one you want to associate this one with. If you leave it on primary, it'll just use whatever set as your primary domain, so normally that's what you want to leave it there. You can add some data to the end of the page. Now these are older settings, so generally it's better to use like a search results section for these instead. Like sold listings, you could use that search results section and just tell it to narrow down to solds instead of using this data at end of page. But there might be some specific circumstances in which you'd want to show your sold listings at the bottom of the page or show like a map search at the bottom, so that's what that is for. Link title, we'll call this the Tech Tuesday page, if I can type. Now what this is this is the name that's going to show up over here in your list, and this is also what's going to show up that in your navigation that someone will click on to get to this page. And then page title you can see filled in automatically. What that is that's the title that'll show up here in your in the browser tab, and that's also what gets picked up by search engines. And we'll go ahead and add it to the navigation menu. And the bottom links, what that is going to do is show it in the links at the bottom and the footer of the page, and it will also show it in your navigation. And then we can use this navigation menu section we looked at to determine where the navigation it shows up. And then meta description, meta keywords, those are things that are typically picked up by search engines. Keywords isn't really used anymore, but it doesn't hurt to put it in. So keywords would just be single words or phrases separated by commas that describe your page content. And then a meta description tag is a brief, readable description of the content on your page. Search engines will pick up the content without that, but it is a good practice to have that in there. And then lastly, we can give this page a custom URL. So I'll go ahead and say Tech Tuesday page. And you can see I put a / here in the beginning and then just typed out what I want the URL to be. So it's going to be my domain / Tech Tuesday page. Now, as a little bit of an additional feature here, if I wanted, I could click this redirect this URL link or checkbox and put in an additional URL. And if I didn't put any page content here, the point of this is I could take whatever URL I want, whatever I put here, and redirect it to whatever I put here. So it just allows me to take different URLs and force them to all go to the same page. So I'll uncheck that, hit submit, and there we go. So our page is created. So you can see now we have the option to delete the page. Now if I go down here and make some changes to it, and I submit it, now you can see in addition to the delete page button, I also have a page history button. So if I click on page history, I can use this drop down to select every revision of my page. So if I want to go back to an older version, I select it, you can see it updates there, and then I would hit make this my current page, and that would restore my deleted version. So the nice thing about that is you don't have to worry about messing anything up on these pages. You can always revert back to an earlier version and kind of start over from there. And we'll go ahead and take a look at our page real quick. There we go. So if I go down to link to this page and click on that, it should open my page up in a new window. You can see there's my page content, there's my form title. These were the checkboxes I was talking about. Down here we have my default comments that I entered there, my what's home worth checkbox, and my property search section in here, and then my custom review section down here at the bottom. So you can kind of see how it'll load all these things up. So the idea here is that you can build a really kind of robust landing page with these. And you can make these market specific, you can set them up however you'd like. So you can make some pretty cool pages with just the built-in features there. All right, now if I go back here, let's say that I want to get rid of this page. So I'm going to hit delete, okay. And just like that, my page is gone. But let's say I didn't want to delete my page. Over here at the top of the page list, I have a recover page button. If I click on that, I have that similar drop down, and you can see here's Tech Tuesday page. Here's when it was removed. If I click on it, that loads my page content back up. And we'll go ahead and recover the page. So you can see that not only if you change a page can you go back and pull it up from the history, but if you actually delete a page, you can go over here to recover pages and you can pull that page back up again. So that is something pretty cool that we've added in there. So that really when you're making these custom pages, I mean, you don't have to worry about losing some content or breaking anything if you want to get in there and experiment. So the next thing, we find my Tech Tuesday page back in here again. So there it is back in my list. And we'll scroll down here. Now when I deleted it, it took it out of the navigation menu, so I'll go ahead and add it back in there and hit submit. And now if I scroll down, let's see if it loaded up in my navigation menu. And there it is. So it is the last page on my list. Now if I want, so right now it shows up here at the end. But if I'd like this to show up somewhere else, I could just grab this box, drag it where I want it. And as we talked about, nesting it actually puts it in a drop down or a flyout menu under what I nested it under. So we'll nest it under pendings because why not? We save it. And we'll go back up to the top, preview website. And now under pendings, there's my Tech Tuesday page. So there you have it. That is the custom page system in the DeltaNet. So now you can see how to create pages, how to add some of our custom features in there,